Joe with JC Model Creations here. Today we are unboxing and discussing the next build series on this channel, the NX-01, Captain Archer's Enterprise from the TV series Star Trek Enterprise. First called Enterprise in the first season, later to be called Star Trek Enterprise. Today we're going to discuss unboxing, painting, strategy, and steps on building this kit. I'm going to have fun. I hope you will too. Let's get started. Thank you for joining me once again. And today we're unboxing Captain Archer's Enterprise NX-01. And this is, of course, the Enterprise from the TV series that was initially called Enterprise only, and then they added Star Trek Enterprise in a later season. So let's go ahead and start. The box itself is beautiful. It's high quality, of course. Polar Lights put this out. Round 2 is the one that's distributing the particular model kit. The model kit comes with its own decal set, but the actual decal set gives you the opportunity to do the Mirror Universe NX-01. That is an option you have. I will not be building that option this time. I'm going to build the NX-01 from the series. You can also build the NX-01 refit, which I believe was planned if the series had continued. Of course, this brings it to more of an Enterprise Constitution class look with the secondary hull added. The model ship comes with its own base, and the colors, we'll be discussing painting and colors and all that kind of thing in a little bit, but I've built this before. It's a really easy build and it's fun. And it can be done in a week or less, or weekend, really, if you pay a lot of attention to it. This kit came out in 2019, this particular kit. So let's go ahead and see what's in the box. I've already kind of opened it. Oh, by the way, here's another look on the other side of the refit. And of course, this was never shown on TV because the show was canceled in a very unfortunate way. I did not enjoy the cancellation or the last episode of the show. I thought it was written very badly. I couldn't believe they brought back Riker and Troy. I loved The Next Generation, but they had no business being on Enterprise. So, all right, let's open the kit. Now, this does not come in the kit. This is an extra buy, and this is the Aztec Dummy 1/1000 scale NX-01 masking kit. Now, I will be using this particular masking kit, and I'll open this up too in just a moment. But I put the kit in with the box so I wouldn't forget anything. All right, so here we go. The clear parts come with this kit, and you get lots of different clear parts to cut through. Now, as I said before, this is in another video, this is a snap kit, but from my experience, the nacelles, they kind of pop off on their own. So I'm not going to snap this kit together. I'm going to glue it together to make sure those nacelles stay on. And as I glue it, for the clear parts, I'm going to use some canopy glue for that because it dries clear. But yeah, here are the clear parts here. These are part of the nacelle area that you will be using. And as you can see, these very small little pieces here are the navigation lights pieces that will be painted red or green, that kind of thing. I believe, if I remember right, they give you a few extras, but don't quote me on that. We'll figure that out. And then here's the body for the refit, and it also has some pieces that I believe we'll be needing, if I remember right. Let me see here. So yeah, these you've got some pieces that you're going to need on whether you do the refit or not. So you're going to need this and some other little pieces there, but you won't need this if you're not doing the refit version of this model kit. I am so excited. This is a de-stressor for me. Here's some more pieces here from the refit and other little pieces. And as you can tell, the molding is in kind of a light gray. Obviously not the same color as the ship is supposed to be, but we're going to remedy that with the painting portion of this build. Okay, what else do we have here? We have our nacelles, some more little pieces that go around the saucer section that have the windows in them, more pieces for the saucer area and some other areas of the ship. And of course, here's this stem here that has some pieces for the nacelles and some pieces for the sensor that goes in front of the saucer and other little areas there. I'm really excited about this. And of course, you have your base that comes with this kit. I'm not going to open that. You know what that is right there. And voila, the main body of the ship. Look at that. There you go. The saucer section is connected to the pylons of the ship itself. It is two halves that you put together. For that reason, I am going to glue it together and then I will paint it afterwards. So, you know, there's some builds where you paint pieces and then you put them on and, you know, you paint the inside because you're going to light it up. This build, I'm not going to do that with. I'm going to literally put everything together as is, and then I'll start on the painting process for that. Okay, let's take a look at the decals on this. There you go. Typical set of decals. You won't be needing this section here if you're not doing the mirror universe. I'm not going to, but we will be using some of these right here, some of these here. Definitely using this. This goes in the back here. There's going to be a section that you glue here, and that will go on that. It's just going to be really nice. I love the way the decals from this kit fit very well, and I had no problems with it the first time. I don't anticipate problems with decals on this ship this next time. And of course, you've got your instructions. Now, I'm going to recommend something on instructions in just a bit here. Let's go ahead and put everything back. Okay, for these instructions, here's what I recommend you do. I recommend you go through and mark the sections of the instructions that you're not going to use as you're building this. So Polar Lights, I think, does a wonderful job with instruction manuals for these kits. Sometimes they don't. Some of the older kits are lacking. But in this particular case, they did a good job with it. I did follow the instruction manual to the letter. Again, like I said, this is supposed to be a snap it kit, but I recommend gluing this kit together because of the flimsiness of the nacelles onto the pylons there. You have some detail here about the kit itself. It's a highly detailed kit. Features precision tooled parts for ease of assembly, which for the most part it is. The small little pieces on this kit are a little rough on your fingers, but we can get through that. Part one is going to be the two halves along with all the little pieces that go into this half here. So we'll be doing that together. And then part two, of course, is going to be the pylon area. And since we are not doing the refit, for my peace of mind visually, I am going to cross that section out. Again, part three is the nacelles, and again you see that there is a reference to the refit, so I will cross out these sections for the refit, knowing that I am not going to mess with those sections. And again, right here, part 4, I'm not going to do that either. And you can see one of the big differences between the refit and the original NX-01 is the little observation deck area here between both pylons is included on the original, and it seems to be missing on the refit. So that is one of the differences between the two ships, for sure. Part 5, really easy. You know, you're just putting it back onto the stand here. I did not do anything to the stand. I didn't paint it. I just, as is, connected it, because to me the showcase is the ship itself, not the stand. And of course, we will not need part 5 here, or of course, part 6. All right, here we go. Next steps. Let me show you the masks. I've enjoyed using Aztec Dummy masks from Aztec Dummy Productions. They do a great job with their masks. I've used a couple of different mask sets. I've used the mask design set for the refit, the 1350 Enterprise refit from Star Trek The Motion Picture. And if you want to watch that series, I'll include a link to the video series for that at the end of this video. And I've used the Aztec Dummy masks, and you know, both have their benefits. The mask design kits are very detailed, and not only are they detailed, but they use a certain method for putting the mask on and removing the mask onto the ship. It's called weeding. And Aztec dummies are more forthcoming. You just put them on and take them off. And you'll see what I mean if you watch my video series on the Enterprise refit. But let's open AD-03. Aztec Dummy, in my experience, produces their mask sets on yellow masking material, but you can kind of hopefully see the patterns on the mask set here. So there are 2 different sections you're going to get, and you get a color page of instructions on what to do. It's a good read. He actually calls this set, or he actually calls the model kit the Wii NX, kind of the Wii Reliant and Wii NX, keeping with the Wii vernacular there. Recommended colors here: testers, metallizer, stainless steel, gunmetal, aluminum. So we're going to talk colors, at least the ones I'm using, and I'll show you what I'm going to use for the kit. This is the second part of that. Obviously, some instructions for the refit version of this kit right here, if you're doing that. So this kit does work with the original plus the refit. So if you want to get this mask set, definitely recommend it. I've used it and it works very, very well. I love the patterns on it, and I think you will too. All right. Now, okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to take these parts and we are going to wash them in soapy water. And then we'll start the process of cutting everything off, the sprues. Let me get this washed. And before we move on to the next section, I do want to let you know and show you what I'm going to be using to build this kit. Okay, so let's go through some of these. Of course, I'm using the old handy dandy paint stand. It's been with me for quite some time now, through most of my model builds on this YouTube channel so far. So as you can see, it's really beat up. But I love using this thing. I will stage a part or a ship on top here and just rotate it gently as I'm spray painting or airbrushing. So you're going to need something to paint on. I'm also using the old handy dandy Duplicolor wheel matte clear coat. This will be the final clear coat that I use when I'm done with the entire ship. So definitely want to get some of this type of stuff. Okay, I do recommend the matte clear coat for the type of ships that you see on these series, these movies. I am also using the Duplicolor Clear Extreme Gloss Finish. Now, the reason I'm using this is to hide the decal shininess. When you put decals on a model kit, the decals glisten against the paint job if you're not using gloss paint. And so once you do your paint job, you want to gloss over the paint with a clear extreme gloss type of coat so that the whole ship is really shiny, so that when you do put the decals on, they blend in and look like they're painted on. And once the decals are on, you can spray a little bit of this on it again, just to kind of protect the decal, and then go over it with the matte clear coat to give it the painted on look. Before we do any painting, we're going to prime the entire ship. So we'll spray it with this primer. That'll make sure that the paint itself goes on smoothly. Of course, like I said earlier, we're using this Evergreen Scale Models canopy glue for the clear parts. As I put those on, they're going to be painted, so they're really not going to stay clear. So really, this is just kind of a preference. Since if it was going to be lit, this is definitely mandatory because you want clear parts to show clear so that the lighting goes through. But I use canopy glue for clear parts. Microsol and Microset, I'm using these two to make sure that the decals blend into all the crevices and all the lines that are on this model kit. So you definitely want to get your hands on something like this. This works very well to soften decals, and it improves adhesion. So this is the Microsol that you want to use, the Microsol, the red set, to get the decals softened and put them on here. This is to remove decals, the blue one. So you really don't need the blue one. You definitely want to have the red one, the one that says soften decals to conform to irregular surfaces. Okay, so get that. I do definitely recommend that. Get any kind of testers or any kind of liquid cement for plastics. You can. I have this also that I've used before. I'm going to use this one for this kit, but the Tamiya extra thin cement also works well. So if you want to use one of these. And then for the base coat, I have purchased 3 different colors from Tamiya. I've purchased the TS17 gloss aluminum color. Okay, so this TS17 gloss aluminum was recommended. I've also purchased this TS83 metallic silver and the PS23 gunmetal. Now, this part, painting, and when we get to it, we will talk through this, but painting this ship is going to be a little experimental. I'm going to spray a certain paint on it. I may use some gunmetal on it as well. But we're not going to show you that or tell you the strategy, because a lot of it right now is going to be eyeing it. And when we get to that point, we'll talk through it. And of course, I'm going to use rattle cans for this because the average Joe is making a model kit, not as a professional, but out of the garage or out of a little workspace in their office. And rattle cans are convenient if you don't have an airbrush. Okay, now if you do have an airbrush set, I read and I bought these, but I didn't use them. You can purchase different colors and mix them and experiment with those to mix and figure out which works best. So in this case, I purchased this Mission Models copper water-based paint. I purchased this aluminum from Mission Models. I also purchased gunmetal from Mission Models. And from Vallejo, I did purchase some steel because they didn't have, Mission Models didn't have steel at the time where I was visiting. And my intention was to airbrush this kit and mix some of these and get the right color based on the actual TV show series. But I ended up not doing that. I'm going to go ahead and just use the spray cans and we'll see how it works. We'll see how it works. I did use spray cans before, and the actual kit came out looking really nice. Okay, my friends, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and we will see you at the next video, and we will be putting this thing together, and I'll start the next video showing you the removal of the parts on the sprues and things like that. All right, until next time, we'll see you soon.